Okay, for number 2, we are gonna, again, we're gonna find I want you to find line of symmetry, vertex, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and state maximum or minimum. Okay, so I just want you to state if it has a maximum or a minimum. So start off, you want to label your ABCs. So in this case, A is equal to what? 2. B is equal to negative 20. And C equals negative 22. Now, to find line of symmetry, we always use the same equation. Your line of symmetry equation is x equals negative b over 2a. And we're just going to plug into that. So negative b would be what? Negative 20. Make sure you use parentheses so that if you have something like negative, you'll realize that it goes away. It will become positive. Over 2 times my a is 2. So negative 20 gives you positive 20 over 4, which reduces to be 5. So your line of symmetry is an x equals 5. Okay, so if I ask you to write the equation for line of symmetry, that will be on your quiz. The equation for line of symmetry is an x equals equation. So we can go ahead and start making our graph. Okay, you know that your line of symmetry is going to be at x equals 5. Now, you do not have to, okay? You do not have to put all the little dash marks, okay? If I want to, I can just, if I draw this, if I label it as x equals 5, then that's fine, okay? So if I label this point as being 5, that's fine. You do not have to put all of the dash marks as long as it's labeled. Okay, now, next thing I'm going to do is find vertex. To find vertex, you plug in. So we're going to use the 5 that I just found and plug it in to this y equals equation and find the y coordinate. Okay, because remember, the line of symmetry, the vertex is always on that line of symmetry, so it will have the same x value. That's why we can do that. So plug in 2 times, we found 5 was x, minus 20 times 5, minus 22. Make sure you do order of operations here, so the square happens first. So 2 times 5 squared is 25, minus 20 times 5 is 100, minus 22. You work that out, we get 50 minus 100 minus 22. What is 50 minus 100? Negative 50 minus 22 gives you a y value of negative 72. So my vertex, use the x portion from the first part, the y portion from the second part, so your vertex is at 5, negative 72. So when you draw this, this is especially a good reason why we don't want to put all of those little dash marks. It's going to be like way down here, okay? And if you say that this is 72, then that's fine, okay? So label your vertex. Vertex is going to be at 5, negative 72. So label your vertex. Now, you can't quite draw your parabola yet because we don't know where it crosses. So you have to find where it crosses, and then we'll label it, okay? So next portion is we want to find the x-intercepts. Okay, your x-intercepts, what do I have to do? Plug in 0 for y. So 0 equals 2x squared minus 20x minus 22. Okay. Then this is what we've been working on. What do I do first to solve that? Factor. Okay, so 0 equals, you can take out a 2, factor out a GCF, you'd be left behind with x squared minus 10x minus 11. You factor again, we get 0 equals 2 times, you know you have to have one positive, one negative for this, x and x. What multiplies to 11 adds to negative 10?
11.
1 and 11. Okay, so positive 1, negative 11, because I want to get a negative in the middle. Then split these up. The 2 equals 0 part goes away. Okay, it doesn't have any variables. Here, x plus 1 equals 0, so we got an x-intercept at negative 1. And x minus 11 equals 0, so your other x-intercept is at positive 11. So if I graph these, you're going to put 1 dot at negative 1. Okay, so we'll say this is negative 1 and positive 11. Okay, and you want to make them, they should be exactly the same distance. Okay, so same distance. So if I moved over 6, I should make sure that I move to the left 6 to get my other equation, or my other point. Because this is a fold line, so it folds it exactly in half. Now, I still don't have my y-intercept, so I can't draw just yet. Okay, and to find my y-intercept, all you have to do is plug in 0 for x. So y equals 2 times 0 squared minus 20 times 0 minus 22. These all go away, so my y-intercept is just negative 22. Okay, when I graph that, I'm just going to randomly pick, okay, it's about, I'm going to guess, it's about right there. So that's negative 22. That's where we'll cross the y-axis. Y-axis is the up and down one. And then connect your points. So we know it goes through negative 1, through positive 11. Okay, and it's kind of a U shape. Through negative 22 on the y, through 1. Your sketches do not have to be perfect, but include as much information as you can. Okay, but they don't have to be perfect. Yes, Brent.
Why do you guys have the 2 equals 0?
Because 2 doesn't equal 0. And when we're solving for x-intercepts. The x is not there. There's no x. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, it goes away. Okay, I have one more for you. Yes?
Why is the 72 not on the 7? Why is the dot not on the 7?
Why is it not right here?
Yeah.
No, because it crosses right here at 5 comma negative 72. So the dot is here. You're not crossing over here. I'm just labeling that this is negative 72 way down there. Okay. One last one. Yes. Oh, okay. And good question. Does this one have a minimum or a maximum? Is this a low point or a high point?
Low point.
Low point. So low point means it is a minimum. Think about it like for...
How's that a low point?
Okay, think about it. Isn't that the lowest it gets? That's not the highest it gets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
if in basketball, you score between 5 points and 10 points in each game, what is your minimum? Minimum is the lowest, right? Right. So the low point is a minimum. A maximum is a high point.
So 72 and 5 is
No. So the minimum is just right here. So I'm just asking you what it is, not what the value is. Okay, I just want you to tell me if it is a minimum or a maximum. Okay. Number 3, this will be the last one. I want you to graph, find line of symmetry, vertex, and state minimum or maximum. Okay, so graph, find line of symmetry, state minimum or maximum. For the equation, y equals negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 22. Negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 22. So just looking at this parabola, is this going to be facing up or down? Down, because it has a negative value at the beginning. Okay, so it will be facing down. So if it's facing down, I know it's going to look like this. Is this going to have a minimum or a maximum?
Maximum.
This has a maximum. Okay, so this will have a maximum. I'm not asking what the value is, but it will have a maximum.
Oh, so it's down there.
If it's facing down, it will have a maximum. If it's facing up, it will always have a minimum. Always. Okay, so I want to graph and let's find my line of symmetry. So first thing before you can find line of symmetry is we have to label our ABCs. So line of symmetry, the formula is always negative b over 2a. You get those ABC values from here. What is your A value? Negative 2. The B value is negative 12. And C is negative 22. They're big values, but that's okay. Okay, so if I plug in to find line of symmetry, x equals negative b, so negative times negative 12 over 2 times negative 2. So negative 12 gives you a positive 12 divided by negative 4. That gives me negative 3. Remember, it has to be written in an equation, so the equation of the line of symmetry is x equals negative 3. So I can already start my drawing. I know that my line of symmetry will be at x equals, so remember x equals lines are straight up and down, x-men stand tall. Okay, your x equals line, so x equals negative 3, that line. So find the vertex, you are going to take that x value, plug in to find y. So y equals negative 2 times negative 3 squared minus 12 times negative 3 minus 22. What happens first? Do I multiply here or do I square first? Square it first. So negative 2 times, what is negative 3 squared? Positive 9. Negative 12 times negative 3 gives you plus 36 minus 22. Negative 2 times 9 gives you negative 18 plus 36 minus 22. So negative 18, positive 36 gives me a positive 18 minus 22. 18 minus 22 is negative 4. So my vertex will be at negative 3, negative 4. So negative 3, negative 4. So that's my vertex. Label it, please. Now, the next thing I can find would be what? Or do I need to find anything else here? My question only asked for line of symmetry, vertex, state minimum or maximum. And I do want you to graph. So if you were going to graph this, would it be facing up or down? Down. Okay, so you just roughly go down. Okay, doesn't really matter. I just want you to put a rough sketch together. Now, what would the x-intercepts be here? Any ideas? Are there any x-intercepts? No, it doesn't cross the x-axis, okay? You could technically find the y-intercept. You could find the exact point where it crosses, but I'm not asking you to. You don't have to, okay? Homework for this objective is going to be worksheet 3. You are doing numbers 1 through 14, okay? 1 through 14. Now, you are not going to have to find every single part for every single question, okay? Different questions are asking you to find different parts. So read it carefully or else you're going to end up doing too much work, which is not what I want.